Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. Let me start with a few words about our company. We are a B2B travel tech company of 10 plus people, located in the wonderful city of Berlin. We love airlines, including their often irrational complexity. And we know airline distribution well, extremely well, both the old GDS world and the new NDC world. And we're building something terribly unsexy, however essential for the future of airline distribution. flyiin was born out of two beliefs shared by the founders. First of all, that airline distribution is the next great API ecosystem, with a transition to the age where GDS are processing search and booking transactions on behalf of airlines will be coming to an end. Second, travel agency will no longer have the exclusivity of selling air travel. With the transition to an API ecosystem, new players will compete with established travel agency for the sales of flights to consumer. And those new players will not rely on GDS to build their own flight products. And that's where flyiin come into the picture. From those beliefs came the concept of our Airline Direct Connect platform. Leveraging the APIs, NDC and non-NDC of the airlines, our platform enabled direct interaction between these new players and the airlines who are responsible for creating offers and processing all subsequent transactions, including payments, going through the platform and their respective API. Our platform has been designed primarily for any accommodation player, consumer brand, online retailers, social networks who will want to sell air travel to consumer via their own digital touchpoint. flyiin gives them the access to the airline content, the functional capabilities, and the tool to become the best at it. OTAs, meta-search, that are looking to accelerate their direct integration with airlines will also view our platform as a pretty attractive option. Now, so far we have integrated 11 airlines, including most of the major European and North American carrier, and the team is currently working on another 5 integrations as we speak. On the seller side, we will be announcing pilot collaboration with a number of meta-search and possibly accommodation players very shortly. Now, flyiin will also drive the radical overhaul of the business model associated with airline distribution. When our platform has been validated by a number of players, our objective is to establish a new dynamic whereby the airlines will sign commercial agreements directly with sellers and reward them for ticket sales. These sellers will pay flyiin for the use of the platform based on the value it delivers in terms of ease of integration, time to market, and functional capabilities, while the airlines will give us access to their API for technical integration and will also pay us for the extended reach that we will deliver. Now, you're going to ask me, what makes our platform different from those of the many aggregators that are out there? Well, first of all, it is safe. It is built under the assumption that the risk of something going wrong between airlines and sellers is very high. So it's optimized, it's actually monitor every offers we get from the airlines and optimize them in order to ensure that it can translate into a successful sales. Second, it hides all the complexity inherent to airline distribution. Sellers do not need to have any airline distribution expertise in order to build their flight products and work with our API. And finally, from day one, we've been making sure that our platform was designed for the sellers, the airlines, and the travelers of the future. The fact that already today, our platform facilitates direct payment with the airlines in a PCI and 3D secure manner is a proof of our commitment to the future. To conclude, what are the key takeaways from speech? First of all, the reshaping of airline distribution is happening. Second, flyiin will drive that transformation. And third, the market of airline distribution will expand way beyond the current boundaries, and we will be at the heart of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan.
I just have to say, you know, I keep hearing direct connect. This is not new, right? A direct connect that needs another intermediary in the middle of it to make it direct connect is a little silly sounding. The process isn't silly. What is in it for a TMC? What is in it? What is this going to do for a TMC that isn't already being done by a GDS or some of the technology that they have today? What's in it for them?
We don't target TMC.
You don't. You target the airlines.
No, we connect airlines to the future point of sales where the consumers are. TMCs, I'm going to be very frank, you're handcuffed with the GDS, both technically, both financially. We don't see them as the first customers of our platform.
Okay.
But so you've been at this a while. I mean, it's a big idea. Then out of nowhere comes Duffel.
Oh, Duffel.
Yeah.
And they raise a bunch of money.
So I thought it would be question number one.
They raise a bunch of money from some very highly respected big dog venture capitalists. So what are you doing differently? And what did they do differently that they could raise that kind of money?
So in terms of the purpose, or not the purpose, but the product at a conceptual level, it's the same. So there's no difference. We're taking airline API, we aggregating them, and then we expose our own APIs to point of sales. So that's the same. Now, I think, I'm not going to speak on behalf of Duffel, I'm just going to tell you how we're going to compete with them. So first of all, one key difference is, personally, I have 20 years experience in that business. I was born and grew up in Amadeus. So I understand the business, I understand the airlines. Our CTO, who is here today, has spent the last 4 years, getting his hand dirty with APIs. We've built 3 platforms. The third one now has been launched a couple of months ago. We've made all the possible mistakes that we could do.
So are you the pioneer with the arrow in your back?
Yeah. I mean, we have very strong connection.
No, meaning did your first mover clear the way for Duffel, and now they're going to leapfrog you and destroy you, or have they validated the market, and that's good for you?
Yeah, I think it's good for us, because it puts a lot of attention to the market. I think there is still some money out there. So yes, we will compete on experience and expertise, which is reflecting in our new platform. And yes, we will compete with cash.
And is it an either-or experience for the airlines? Do they either work with you or Duffel, or they work with both? Doesn't matter.
An airline works with Travelport, Amadeus, and Sabre.
Yep.
No, so this is interesting. I think the API conversation is at risk of being repeatable. People can go in and recreate some of the technology. And what I'm seeing is, while NDC has had a real push, it is becoming more about the content, meaning being able to expand the types of services that I offer on revenue or other pieces. So I'm wondering, while you've created expertise on basically deploying out NDC for airlines, if that's too repeatable for you, too at risk, how do you get into the content area, which is where the CEOs that I talk with are most interested?
Yeah. So the thing is, we are architect and plumber, right? Once it's in place, it's open unlimited opportunities for the airline. It has to exist. It has to be built. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan.
Very good.